Hello everyone, welcome to my review of The Edge of 17.
All alone on the edge of 17.
The film is written and directed by Fremon and starring Hailee Steinfeld, Hailee Richardson, Blake Jenner, Kyra Sedgwick, and Woody Harrelson. The film is centered around Hailee Steinfeld's character named Nadine, who is dealing with a lot of teenage angst and teenage growing pains, and the film really deals heavily around a lot of coming-of-age themes. I have to say, I really like this film a lot. It is probably one of my favorite films of the year so far, and that has to do a lot with Hailee Steinfeld and her particularly strong performance in this film. I think she gave a wonderfully nuanced performance with wonderful emotional changes throughout the film, as well as the writing really helped her in exploring all of these amazing coming-of-age themes. Things like confusion, doubt, isolation, fear, anger, hate, self-hate, self-loathing, things of that nature which are very serious, but the film is not entirely a dramatic film. The film is more of a dramedy, a sometimes dark dramedy, but it is very, very well done. I think a lot has to be said about Fremon. This is our first directed film, as well as one of only the few films she's actually written a screenplay for, and I have to say, this is a very strong debut film for her as a director. She was really able to capture all of the things that go into being a teenager. Like I said, a lot of those themes really coming through very, very well, and they are relatively fully explored, which I thought was really, really interesting. There are comedic themes, and there are dramatic themes, and they really are fully explored in the film. Also, the film is not only really about her character, but it's really about the people around her, specifically her mother portrayed by Kyra Sedgwick and her brother portrayed by Blake Jenner. And it's a very interesting family dynamic that they have. She feels like the black sheep, the outcast of the family. The brother and the mother are very close, and she feels ostracized because of it. And she also is kind of dealing with a tragedy in her life. I won't give it away. I'm really trying very hard not to give away any of the plot for the film because I really want people to see it for themselves and make their own judgments when it comes to things of that nature. The relationship she has with her brother is one of the main plot lines in the film, and it's a very kind of animosity type situation, and which we see a lot when it comes to siblings in film and siblings in real life. So I thought that was very realistic or very genuine, and that is one of the more positive aspects of the film, is I feel it's very genuine. There's nothing really false about the film too much. I'll get more into that when I talk about the negatives, but right now I'm just talking about the positives. Also, the relationship with the mother is also very interesting. Kyra Sedgwick plays a character who's almost kind of an absentee mother somewhat. She's more concerned about what's happening in her own life as opposed to her children, which is very interesting. Also, Nadine really doesn't have a lot of avenues in terms of her social life. She's kind of a social outcast, which I think is a huge theme that are explored in not only these coming-of-age films, but also in life in general. There is a lot of things now when it comes to teenagers and social lives or becoming social pariahs and dealing with depression and anxiety and things of that nature, and that is all in this film. It's very much a film that I feel is timeless because of all the themes that it's working with. It's timeless because these themes are becoming more apparent in pop culture, they're becoming more apparent in everyday life, and the film really does a wonderful job exploring those themes. But as I've said numerous times, it is a coming-of-age film, and I personally have a big soft spot for coming-of-age films. I feel like the teenage years are a very interesting time in one's life that can very much be explored on the cinematic screen. But with that comes certain coming-of-age film cliches, and the film does utilize a couple of them, and I understand why they do. They very much serve the plot, and they're very much part of the plot, but they're very kind of jarring in a film that I feel is doing very unique things and being very, I would dare say, original when it comes to the film, when it comes to all of the plot lines that it's exploring and as well as the themes. And so when it falls back on some more well-known cliches, I feel that really takes away from the film. Also, there are some tonal problems in the film, not too much, but like I said, there is relatively a good mesh of dramatic and comedic elements in the film. The problem is the transitions between the comedy and the drama, or the drama and the comedy, is not very smooth sometimes, so it is jarring when in the same scene you go from laughing to a more somber, more serious moment. It's a thing the film really did its best trying to balance, but it is jarring sometimes. But I have to say, this film is wonderfully sincere. It is fantastically well acted. I am so glad to see Hailee Steinfeld back on the big screen in a very good role for her, a role she nails very, very well. Some of you may remember her from I believe, her first role in the 2010 Coen Brothers film True Grit, where she, I believe, was nominated for an Oscar, and she was phenomenal in that film, and I was very much looking forward to see what she would be doing in her career from that point on. But she hasn't really done much in terms of great cinematic performances. She does a few films here and there, but she is mostly concentrated on her musical career, because she is one of those multi-talented artists who could do both the acting as well as the musical arts. I hope she gets a lot of positive critical acclaim for this role. So with all that being said, I'm probably going to give The Edge of 17 a very high score. I'm going to go with a 4.25 out of 5 stars. It is currently one of my favorite films of the year, and I highly recommend people to go see it if they do like teenage coming-of-age films. But if you like this video, please check out my other videos. I have a few episode reviews for the various comic book television series, as well as a few movie reviews.